Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. My name is Mary, and I'm really happy to be here with you today. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are listening from.
Hello, Mary. Hi, everyone. I'm Tom. Thank you so much for joining us again. We truly appreciate your time and your support.
In today's episode, we are going to talk about something very important in English. It's simple, but many learners still feel confused about it. Our topic is how to use have and has in English.
Yes, this topic is very common in daily conversations. You hear it all the time in speaking and writing, but sometimes it's not used correctly.
Understanding have and has can really improve your English. It helps you speak more clearly and naturally. It also helps you sound more confident.
If you use them correctly, your sentences become smoother. People understand you more easily, and communication becomes more comfortable.
Let's start with the basic meaning. Have and has both show possession. They tell us what someone owns or has.
For example, I have a book. She has a car. The meaning is very simple.
Now let's talk about the difference. This is where many learners get confused. But don't worry, it's actually very easy.
We use have with I, you, we, and they. We use has with he, she, and it. That's the basic rule.
Let's look at some examples together. I have a pen. You have a phone. We have a meeting today.
Now with has. He has a dog. She has a new job. It has a long tail.
Some learners say, she have a car. This is not correct.
The correct sentence is she has a car because she uses has.
You don't need to memorize too much. Just remember the subject, then choose have or has.
Practice with simple sentences. Say them out loud. Repeat them often.
If you make mistakes, it's okay. Everyone learns step by step. You are improving every day.
Keep practicing. Keep listening. You will get better.
In the next part, we will talk about using have and has in questions.
And also how to use them in negative sentences. So stay with us.
I hope you enjoyed the first part and understood the basic idea. Now we're going a little deeper into how to use have and has.
Yes, in this part, we're going to make things more practical. We will learn how to use have and has in questions. And we will also look at negative sentences.
Let's start with questions. In English, we often ask about things people have. This is very common in daily conversation.
To ask a question, we usually use do or does. These helping words make the sentence a question. They are very important.
When we use have with I, you, we, and they, we ask questions like this. Do you have a pen? Do they have a car?
And for he, she, and it, we use does. So the question becomes, does he have a phone? Does she have a laptop?
Notice something important here. After does, we always use have, not has. This is a common mistake.
For example, we do not say, does she has a car? That sounds incorrect.
The correct form is, does she have a car? This is the right structure.
So remember this rule clearly. Does goes with have, not has.
Let's practice a few more questions. Do you have time today? Do we have enough money?
Now with does. Does he have a job? Does it have a name?
Now let's move to negative sentences. This means saying something is not true.
We use do not or does not. In spoken English, we often say don't and doesn't.
With I, you, we, and they, we use don't have. For example, I don't have a car.
You don't have enough time. We don't have a meeting today. They don't have any questions.
Now with he, she, and it, we use doesn't have. For example, he doesn't have a phone.
She doesn't have a job right now. It doesn't have a cover. These are very natural sentences.
Some learners say, She doesn't has a car. This is incorrect.
The correct sentence is she doesn't have a car. Again, after doesn't, we use have.
Here's a simple way to remember. Whenever you use do or does, always use have after it.
This rule works for both questions and negatives. It makes your English more accurate. It also sounds natural.
Let's try a short conversation. Tom, do you have a coffee today, or are you still waiting for one?
I don't have one yet. I was busy this morning, but I really need one soon.
That sounds like you need energy. Does Mary have coffee today? Yes, I do, actually.
That's good. I hope it helps you stay focused. Coffee is always a good idea.
Don't worry if this feels new. Practice slowly and step by step. You will get used to it.
Try making your own sentences. Ask questions to your friends. Use negatives in daily life.
In the next part, we will talk about using have and has in daily conversations.
We will make it more natural and closer to real-life speaking.
So far, we've talked about the basics, questions, and negative forms. Now we're going to focus on real-life conversations.
Yes, this part is very important because learning grammar is one thing, but using it in daily life is another.
Let's start with simple daily situations. People often talk about what they have. This makes have and has very useful.
For example, in the morning, someone might say, I have a busy schedule today. This sounds very natural.
Or someone can say, I have a meeting at 10 a.m. It's clear and direct.
And with has, you can talk about other people. For example, she has an interview today.
Let's imagine we are talking about a friend. We might say, he has a new job.
Or she has a lot of experience. This is common in work conversations.
We also use it to describe things. For example, this place has a nice view.
Or the restaurant has good food. These sentences are simple and useful.
Have and has are often used for possessions, things we own or keep.
For example, I have a laptop. I have a backpack.
And with has, he has a car. She has a beautiful house.
These sentences are easy to build. You just need a subject and a noun.
We also use have and has to talk about experiences in daily life.
For example, I have a lot of work today. That means your day is full.
Or, she has a problem with her computer. That means something is wrong.
You can also say, they have a chance to win. This shows opportunity.
Let's try a natural conversation, Tom. Do you have plans for the weekend or are you free?
I have a few plans. I have a meeting with a friend, and I have some time to relax.
That sounds nice. I don't have any big plans. I just want to rest.
That's good too. Sometimes rest is important. Your body has limits.
When you practice, try to connect it to your real life.
Talk about your schedule. Talk about your friends. Talk about your daily routine.
This helps your brain remember faster because it's meaningful to you, not just random sentences.
The more you use it, the more natural it feels.
Even in daily conversation, small mistakes can happen.
For example, he have a car. This is incorrect.
You should say, he has a car. Just one small change.
But that small change makes your English sound correct.
Don't be afraid to speak. Even simple sentences are powerful.
You don't need long sentences. Short and clear is better.
Each time you speak, you improve your fluency.
Each conversation builds confidence.
In the next part, we will share tips and tricks to remember have and has easily.
We'll make it simple and practical so you can use it without thinking too much.
You've done a great job staying with us so far. Now we're going to make everything even easier to remember.
Yes, this part is all about simple tips and patterns. We want to help you use have and has without confusion, and most importantly, without stress.
Here's the first tip. Always look at the subject first. This is the key to choosing the correct word.
If the subject is I, you, we, or they, then you use have. This rule is very consistent.
If the subject is he, she, or it, then you use has. This is the only difference you need to remember.
So, before speaking, take 1 second to think about the subject. Then your choice becomes easy.
The second tip is about sentence length. Many learners try to say too much. That creates confusion.
Short sentences are easier, they're clearer, and they sound more natural.
For example, I have a meeting. That's enough.
Or, she has a new phone. Simple and correct.
The third tip is about practice. Use real-life topics.
Talk about your daily routine. Talk about your plans. Talk about your belongings.
For example, I have breakfast at 8. I have work today.
Or, he has a busy schedule. She has a class this afternoon.
Another helpful tip is repetition. When you repeat patterns, your brain learns faster.
Say the same structure with different words. For example, I have a book. I have a bag. I have a problem.
Then switch to has. He has a book. She has a bag. It has a problem.
This pattern helps you feel the difference. It becomes automatic over time.
Many learners only read silently, but speaking out loud is very important.
When you speak, you train your mouth and your ears. This improves fluency.
Try saying sentences every day, even for a few minutes. That's enough to improve.
You can practice alone or with a friend. Both are helpful.
Let's practice together right now. I will say a subject. You complete the sentence in your mind.
Let's start simple. I,
You can say, I have a phone, or anything you like.
now, she,
She has a job. She has a car. Simple choices.
next one, they.
They have a meeting. They have a plan. Very natural. One important thing to remember is this. Don't overthink.
If you think too much, you slow down your speech. You lose confidence.
Trust the simple rules. Use them again and again.
Fluency comes from repetition, not from perfection.
Make it part of your daily habit.
Even 5 minutes a day helps.
Use English in small moments. Describe what you have around you.
This builds a natural connection between language and life.
In the final part, we will review everything and share our final thoughts.
And we will also say goodbye to all of you who listened.
And now we've come to the final part of today's episode. Thank you so much for staying with us until the end. We truly appreciate your time and your attention.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening. We hope you feel more confident now, and we hope this lesson was helpful and easy to follow.
Let's take a moment to review what we learned today. We started with the basic meaning of have and has. We talked about how they show possession and everyday situations.
Then we moved to questions and negative sentences. We practiced using do and does, and we learned how to avoid common mistakes.
After that, we explored real-life conversations. We used simple examples from daily life. This helped us see how English works in real situations.
And in part 4, we shared tips and patterns. We showed you how to practice easily every day.
Have and has may look small, but they are very important.
They appear in many sentences. They are used in daily communication, and they help you express ideas clearly.
When you use them correctly, your English sounds more natural.
People understand you better, and you feel more confident when speaking.
If you are still learning, don't worry. Progress takes time. Every small step matters.
Even simple sentences are powerful. You don't need complicated grammar. You just need consistency.
Practice every day, even for a few minutes.
Use English in your daily life. Talk about what you have. Ask simple questions.
Learning English is a journey. There will be challenges, but there will also be progress.
Stay patient with yourself. Keep going and don't give up.
Before we go, we have a small request for you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please support us by subscribing to our channel.
Your support helps us create more episodes. It also helps other learners find this podcast.
And if you found this helpful, you can share it with your friends.
This is Mary. Thank you again for listening.
And this is Tom. We're really glad you joined us today.
Until next time,
Keep practicing your English.
keep learning step by step.
Goodbye, everyone, and see you in the next episode.